welcome all the panelists. I'll start with Sandeep. I believe he runs an interesting company where he helps offline sale. Well, in the times of online sale, he's helping the retailers to boost the offline sale. Sandeep, would you like to talk about it and how it is important for all the brands, since you deal with most of them, to go online and have a right mix?
Sure. Thanks, Faizan. And hello, everyone. Good morning. So I represent this company called Single Interface. So we are essentially a platform where we enable brands with physical presence. Could be retail network, could be branches, could be agent network, could be dealerships, to help them get discovered online. So if you look at the consumer behavior, and if you look at the sales mix, even in a very evolved market like a US, still about 80-85% retail happens in the offline world. But the consumer behavior is shifted online. So if you see, most of the consumers today discover their preference of brands or discover where they want to buy digitally first. It could be through search, it could be discoverable through social, it could be through multiple directories. And with AI coming in, there are chatbots who are also suggesting where to sort of transact or where to go. So consumers are actually moving digitally very, very fast. But the brands who have their presence in the physical retail world, or what we call as real world, they haven't really been able to capture that demand which is coming online. So as a company, as a platform, we help brands bridge that gap. So we essentially digitize the physical retail network and physical retail presence of a brand by giving them a solution, so that when a customer is looking for a particular product or particular service online, they are easily connected to the offline retail store or the physical retail network. Now, this happens by helping them build a digital presence. So from a brand perspective, a lot of brands have invested in building a central brand asset, which is the brand.com, or creating an application or creating a mobile app. But the physical retail stores, their presence, or what we call as digital storefronts, is essentially their Google business profile, or a store locator, or essentially creating those store pages for each of the location. So our tool helps that, and then which solves for the presence and discoverability. Then I think once the consumer discovers where to buy, then the next step is for the brand to engage with the customers. So through our platform, which has close to about 300,000 locations live, we generate almost like 500-600 million calls, which are going from online customers connecting to the offline stores. Now, those 500 million calls today is very difficult to decipher what the consumer wants or what the conversation was all about. Now, using AI, we are able to now understand the customer sentiment which is ending on the store with a call. And that customer sentiment can be then segmented and retargeted, right? So we call it, this is the cookies for the offline world, right? So there are customers who are calling the stores. Now, can these stores engage with these customers and retarget them, or lead to a transaction? A very interesting use case of a brand which works with us for the locations. So they track how many customers call, and they track this keyword called out of stock. So when the store manager on the call says that this product is out of stock, immediately a WhatsApp message is initiated to the customer saying that this is available in some other store, or you can buy it online, right? So you can close the loop. So because the customer's preferences to discover, buy, are essentially omnichannel today, because the customer is present across different channels, be it quick commerce, be it e-commerce, be it physical retail, or buying it from an MBO or buying it from an EBO. I think it's very essential for the brands to make sure that they cover the whole ground. Omnichannel should not be just about making sure a retail presence is omnichannel, but I think the entry point, which is online in majority of the cases, brands make sure that they also cover that from an omnichannel standpoint and give a consistent experience. Because omnichannel is all about giving a consistent experience. So if you don't control your brand's digital presence or digital storefronts, consumers will have a broken journey. Because a lot of time consumers will find a store, the phone numbers are not working, the lat longs are inaccurate, right? So we solve to bridge that gap.
So it's all about being present everywhere.
Yes, absolutely. Everywhere, and I'll say being present everywhere accurately.
Accurately, true. Yeah. So I'll come to you, Ankur, next. For a segment like yours, how important is to be present online, and how difficult it is to sell it online?
See, of course, I think with changing consumer trends, we have been an offline-first brand. It's a 138-year-old brand with a lot of legacy, but I think with the changing consumer trends, it's very important to be out there, like Sandeep was mentioning. So, of course, e-commerce has become a very, very integral part of the business. Over a period of time, I think consumers have also adopted it. For a category like ours, it is a little difficult because trying a bra physically will give you a much, much better experience. It'll give you a much, much better feel. However, we've tried to integrate this online as well with various tools. One very interesting thing that is there on our website globally, it's a proprietary tool which helps the consumer to, with some calculations and some body types, it will tell you what your bra size is. So, and interestingly, more than 60% of women in India actually don't know what their right bra size is. So we try and integrate online and offline. However, it's not just from a sales point of view, but being a global brand, I think marketing campaigns, customer experience. So we try and integrate online and offline at a 360-degree level so that the consumer is experiencing everything seamlessly. Because the lines are really blurring between online and offline. So I think it's very, very important how you give that experience to the consumer in both the worlds.
Thanks. Priyanka, I'll come to you. You mentioned that your company started in 1959. So for a company as old as this, how difficult it is to shift to online, and when did you start your omnichannel journey?
So I'll tell you a fun fact. Our business has been around for generations, and being the third generation, it has been a big challenge as well as a big opportunity for us at the same time. So we launched our e-commerce website back in 2007. At that time, Lenskart was hardly in the picture. They were just in the very nascent stage. And we sold a lot of Ray-Bans online, but we were too early in the industry at that time. And we didn't have the necessary infrastructure to have a good website and control a lot of issues that you face when you launch an e-commerce in terms of fraudulent actions online, and how to control your returns and all of we faced a lot of challenges, and then we shut our e-commerce, and then we relaunched in 2018. However, I mean, now is the right time for us to grow with the right infrastructure and with so many players out there who are, as Sandeep rightly mentioned, now we have the tools. Retailers today have the tools to access so many different partners who can help them at various stages in this process. So I think now for us is a very exciting time to, of course, I believe in our company we work more on the discoverability rather than sales online, because eyewear as an industry, it's a very interesting time for eyewear. So we predict that by 2050, half of the world's population will be wearing glasses. So eye care and eyewear is a very interesting and very complicated industry, which is a blend of fashion as well as technicalities. And with GKB, our core strength is our lens dispensing and our eye testing. To move that space online is, of course, a challenge for us. But we are trying to take small steps so that people interact with our brand online. And I think having a seamless interaction and a visibility online is extremely important for us. And completion of the transaction offline is where we see a scope for our business, because customers need to come into the store and get eye testing. We were exploring companies who do eye testing online as well, but I think the accuracy rate is still a question mark. So having that integration, when we launched online in 2007, our offline stores felt a sense of threat that online is going to take over offline and online is going to be the future and stores will be shut down. And there was an internal struggle that we faced in our company. However, now with the conversation of omnichannel, where you can ship your products from your store to a customer sitting in any city online, this gives stores the tool to have a much wider market for their products. So we're at a very exciting time with the question of omni-channel rather than offline versus online, which was the challenge back into 2000s. And now, of course, is the question of how do we bridge the gap between offline and online across various industries, especially for our industry, which is a very, very, I would say, sensitive industry with eye care and eyewear being in the question. Thank you.
What percentage of your sale is online and how you are increasing it?
See, we don't sell, we dispense. So I would say hardly 1% as of now of our sales is online. But I would say a far majority of our customers, close to 30 to 40% customers who walk into a store, have interacted with our product, have seen our styles online, and they come with this information to the stores. So.
Nice, nice. Sumit, your take on omnichannel strategy, you sounded very reluctant behind the stage that how the customer should behave. So what is your strategy and your take on omnichannel?
Yeah, so actually, if you look at our stores, we've got close to about 520 of those across the country. We interact with consumers in 3 to 4 very different ways, right? One is, of course, when you walk into the store, you interact with the product, you buy the product. Or it could be you look for a product, either you don't find the size or the color, and that's when my salespeople will come and say, why don't you order online? And I will help you do that. And there are some tabs in the store or on your phone will help you convert from offline to online, right? So that's 2. Third is you are on the website and you're searching for the product. You buy. Now that could be serviced from either the DC or a particular store, right? So it's the whole gamut of things that we do across the board. And we feel that the campaigns that we run offline have a direct impact on online and vice versa. In fact, my online business has dramatically improved this year on the back of what we are doing in our offline stores. So actually, it's very, very linked. It's very closely linked because today's consumer is a very omni-consumer by choice. So for example, somebody was talking about discoverability. For many of us, the first discovery or the first interaction with the brand actually happens online. And post that, you come to the offline world to interact with it, to buy it, to change it, and so on and so forth. So I personally believe that where we are in that sweet spot, we are in a very good space. And as we go along, I believe that our share of what we call the omni business will only keep going up and up.
So the online sale is directly dependent on how you're doing offline, basically.
Correct. Because the fact is that what happens offline is a physical rendition of what you want the consumer to see, right? Online is only a part of the story. And especially in our product category where look, feel, try, fit are important elements still, and technology has still not found a way to get around that, it's even more important for them to come feel my product.
Yes, sir.
And that happens in the stores.
Yeah, thank you. Sanjay, your take, I mean, in your segment, how is it going? I mean, you are following the omnichannel strategy or you're yet to start it?
So our kind of business, inventory becomes the biggest challenge. And so that you can make your inventory work harder, all channels of sales need to be activated. So from that perspective, to go online or to do omni is a no-brainer. I feel that whichever way you can make your inventory work harder for you is most welcome. So yeah, omni becomes a very critical part of our business. While trying to do omni, there are certain operational issues, which I think a lot of people in this industry, in the room, in this forum are also trying to resolve and solve, which is probably why a lot of people may not be adopting to omni as they would love to. But having said that, there is a huge opportunity. I feel that there is a convergence of all channels. We all need to talk to the same customer through as many means and modes as possible. And Omni, I don't think it's kind of a, it's not it's a compulsion for everybody. That's what my feeling is. And for various product categories, the evolution will happen with the time. But it's a foregone conclusion that one has to embrace Omni, and that's probably the way ahead. I think the challenges are more operational, and not from an intent perspective. And I think all of us sitting here and together in the room are trying to kind of resolve the situation.
Sandeep, you heard from all the brands present here. What is your suggestion to them, like you, as being a tech specialist, how they should go for the next step? For the next step, basically, what should they do next in terms of going Omni?
So I think great conversation in terms of every brand's own journey on Omni. I think the good thing is that everybody is, at some stage of the journey. It's very important that brands recognize that, and which I could hear all the panelists say that it is important, and everybody recognizes that consumer is Omni today, and the customers are increasingly discovering brands, discovering the solution to their needs online. So I think the first step for a brand is to, first of all, just see where they are in terms of not just the transaction, but the whole funnel, right? Because the customer funnel typically starts from discoverability, right? That whether they are trying to find the best pizza near them, or they're trying to find the certain styles of optics, as in the case of GKB, or a specific product which may be available at a Max Fashion store. So making sure that you are covering all surfaces is very important. While your D2C brand.com is important, marketplaces are important. Similarly, there are independent surfaces like a Google Merchant Center, for instance, right? And then social, which I'm sure every brand is present in. So making sure that the coverage is extensive. And once the discoverability happens on any of these surfaces, make sure that the last mile connectivity is not broken. When I say last mile connectivity, if there is a store locator on your website and the phone numbers are not updated, right? Or the store locator has a get direction button and it doesn't lead you to the store. So that's a broken experience, right? So you need to make sure that all the broken experiences are covered. And then once the customer engages with the retail outlet, it could be talking to a store manager, it could be directly reaching out to the location via a footfall, making sure that it enables a seamless transaction. Now that transaction can also happen, like one of the ways brands can connect with consumers who are online to their offline stores is also through conversational commerce, right? So there could be a chatbot, there could be a WhatsApp, which could be integrated on your digital surfaces, which are connecting you to the store. Now, making sure that that connectivity leads to either a transaction or convenience to the customer in terms of service capability, right? So if those are plugged, and I'll quickly put a very personal anecdote here. And this incidentally happened with one of the brands we work with, and I discovered their store, by going to their Google listing, and I eventually landed up to the store. While transacting, I forgot one of the product which I wanted to buy at the POS, right? And I was not able to sort of complete that transaction. It was essentially Diwali time, and I had to wear that in the evening. So I went back home, called the store again through the Google listing, and spoke to the manager who was at the store. I told him, look, I left this on the POS counter and I want to buy it. How do I make sure that it reaches me until like 7:30, 8 o'clock in the evening? He sent me a QR code on WhatsApp. I transacted, sent a porter to pick the product up, and it actually came to me. So it was a critical, classic example of omnichannel happening, not via the traditional channel of omnichannel. Like I went to the website, did a checkout. Now the reach out happened through phone, transaction happened through WhatsApp on a QR code, and the delivery happened through a third party, right? I mean, it's very interesting. So you know how these use cases are solved? And now if you look at the attribution of my transaction, it's very difficult to really attribute it to one channel. But if the brand would have not been visible, or discoverable, I would have not been able to reach out to the store manager so easily. So it's very important to just map all the journey, the complete journey end to end, and make sure that you are present in all steps of the journey in a very, very seamless way.
So, Sumit, the anecdote Sandeep mentioned, you train such kind of things to your staff, or it comes automatically to the staff? You tell them that if a customer is coming, he should not go empty-handed, he should buy it from there?
That's a completely different conversation. But yeah, a large part of the store training or service orientation actually is a different task. So of course there is that that belief that consumer who's walking into the store, we must make sure that we service them well. This is actually, from a service charter perspective, it's way beyond Call of Duty, right? It's one of those stories which get attached to a brand and the brand lives on forever. So from that perspective, yes. But I think more realistically speaking, from a Omni perspective, right? We must make sure that, for example, what are the challenges that we face? The challenges that we face is, let's say you've placed an order online, right? And of course, we have an algorithm working to search for that product. So it'll go, by default, it'll probably go to the store nearest you. If the product is there, it'll say yes. It'll wait there. It'll wait for the salesperson to go pick the product. If he doesn't find, he will say nil pick. Then he'll jump to the next store or the warehouse. And like that, in our system, that jumps could be anywhere between 20 to 30 jumps before we are able to ship that product. Now, in some cases, and only in some cases, it could impact the delivery schedule. So how do I automate my system to make sure that I'm connected to you as a consumer, saying I had promised to give you the product in 3 to 4 days, but hey, it's going to take 2 more days. Now it's on its way. That's one part of the Omni reality. The other part of Omni reality is that I have planned and I have picked the product. There are 20 products to be picked at a particular store, right? The delivery partner, who's a third party, is supposed to come at 7 o'clock in the evening. He fails to come at 7 o'clock. He doesn't come that day at all. He only comes the next day. So suddenly, my service level agreement with you as a consumer is 24 hours late, right? So in reality, it's a mixture of not just technology, but actually a lot of logistics and a lot of operational efficiency, both at the front end as well as at the back end. Right? So, and that's why it's so unique, and it's about the muscle memory or the way we operate. How can we actually build efficiencies in this program? So for example, we always keep tinkering with the algorithm of what stores will it hop to, right? Where is the chances or likeliness of it being fulfilled very quickly? Because my objective is to get you the product as quickly as possible, right? But if it's going to go through 10 hops, then surely it's going to be delayed by 2 days, right?
You're talking about delay in delivery. However, these are times of 10 minutes delivery.
Correct.
So what is your take on quick commerce? Should quick commerce be also part of omnichannel strategy?
So we at Max Fashion are not too enthused with quick commerce because we believe that that's a channel that's slightly different. And consumer who wants to buy fashion, a large part of it, of course, is need-based. The other part is about gratification as well. So we believe that they need to experience our product, okay? And if you want to buy a jean in 10 minutes, well, you need to buy a jeans at 10 minutes and I can't help you on that one. But sure, if you want to buy a good product and a great value product, it'll come to you. Of course, I have 500 stores, so probably there's a store near you. That chances of that, you probably going and reaching in 10 minutes to my store and trying 5,000 options is probably far better than getting that product in 10 minutes.
Priyanka, your take on this? I mean, your segment, do you think it fits in the quick commerce strategy?
Definitely. I think, like I said, eyewear, we are at a very exciting time. By 2050, half of the world is going to be wearing glasses. And it's going to be a huge market for us globally as well as in India. Given the nature of India, given the nature of myopia as a epidemic that is existing, the entire behavior, consumer behavior around eyewear, of course, Lenskart has created a wonderful base for all of us. So I think definitely I see eyewear. Of course, there is a lot of nuances in this industry. I would say there is complicated prescription and there is simple prescription, more of stock lenses with simple power, +2, -2. which definitely has scope for being sold online. So we recently launched this within GKB vertical. We launched this concept store called iLab, which is delivery glasses ready in 20 minutes. So anybody who has to travel tomorrow and has broken their glasses or has lost their glasses or has sat on their glasses, like most of us are there to blame, we can walk into an iLab store and with our expertise and service and the GKB power of the GKB brand, you get your lenses fitted, stock lenses fitted to any brand of your choice in 20 minutes. So this is again a groundbreaking, and if we can take this to quick commerce, and you're sitting in your house and you want to order Ray-Ban and you want to put a prescription in it and get it in 20 minutes, why not? I think it's a great field for us.
So we'll soon see you on the quick commerce platform as well.
We hope so. One of the biggest challenges we are facing is, as a purely offline retail company that is trying to innovate, I think just having the right support and the, that gap between retail, offline, and quick commerce companies, I think that gap needs to be fulfilled. Once we get the right people to work with the right contacts, we are very open to exploring this together. And of course, favorable business terms.
Thank you. You talked about challenges. Ankur, you talked about challenges selling it online, your product. So how difficult it is to go 10 minutes delivery way?
So I think lingerie is a very, very complex category. The number of sizes, the number of different combinations, wired, non-wired. So I think it's not a very easy category to sell on a quick commerce platform, purely because of managing inventory and managing demand and supply. Having said that, I think we are trying to launch our core products because those are something which consumers are picking up very quickly. But again, how much scale we can achieve is still a question mark. So I think it's, again, quick commerce for specific categories works really well. But for a category like ours, I think it's still a gray area how much you can scale up. But definitely, I think in some pin codes, in some bigger cities, there will definitely be a good demand. But yeah, I think it works really well for a lot of other categories.
Sanjay, your take, I mean, do you think there is a business there, or it's just people are going there, fear of missing out?
So I would say that the channel is new, so there is some romance in the channel. And I think a lot of people are wanting to experience quick commerce just because they want to experience the whole process. I don't know whether we really want it in 10 minutes, but since it's coming to you in 10 minutes, why not? Having said that, Spiker has kind of created a very interesting collection of essentials. And though these are early days, we have found a pretty good traction on quick commerce, especially our innerwear business. A lot of our essential products, which are basic jeans, basic white and black polos, round necks. So I think eventually I feel there would be a set of merchandise which probably can make sense as far as quick commerce is concerned. Today, I think it's in the process of people wanting to experience, so a lot of other things are also working. I wouldn't be surprised if people probably order an electric bike on the quick commerce also. So, I mean, today, the jury is out. We have to wait and watch and see where it works.
You were mentioning about how consumers is ready to pay extra for at quick commerce website, while online shopping is slightly different, where you have to give discount. So does that help the brand?
Yeah, so there has been always this perennial question for legacy brands and brands which are not wanting to really burn money online. Today, especially in our kind of business, we see a lot of discounting happening on online channels. And for a lot of brands, online is mainly liquidation, which is a sad part. And today, customers are also coming on the platform only and buying stuff only if they see a very aggressive discount out there. For convenience, people are not going online as much as we would want it to be. But the behavior is changing. And I feel that with quick commerce, people are getting used to paying a little more for their product. And that change in behavior will eventually work to build a better traction for full price merchandise and convenience on the overall channel online. And I think that is basically the adaptation of online channel for full price business is being hastened and quickened with the advent of quick com. I think that's one good thing which has happened overall to the behavior pattern of a customer's purchase, and which is good for all of us.
And Sumit, in terms of segment-wise, premium segment, value fashion and everything, do you think each segment respond differently to the strategy?
See, as far as Omni is concerned, it is about the intrinsic brand value, and then you are basically giving the consumer means to shop across channels, right? So I don't think that there is a larger play in value or a lesser play in, if logically one were to think probably premium, I would want to go to the store even more so to try before, because I'm paying big bucks. But having said that, I think the consumer today is fairly evolved on that, right? Because all of us have bought phones worth hundreds of thousands, not hundreds of thousands, but thousands of, tens of thousands, online, and we do it with aplomb and ease. So I am not so sure whether it is really specific to value versus premium. Of course, in my segment, the affinity of the consumer to my brand is, I think, the key. The more tuned you are or attuned you are to my brand, you've tried my brand, you've used the product, you're happy with the product, you worn it, it was comfortable, it was nice, people told that you were looking amazing. Or if all those things are happening, then you will choose the channel that works for you for that particular purchase, right? Okay. And I think with the penetration of phones, penetration of internet, high speed, so on and so forth, I think the basic things are taken care of. So yeah, at the end of the day, it really comes down to, am I available when you need it? And what do you think of me as a brand?
True, true. Sandeep, is it easy to acquire customer online or offline?
It's a very interesting question. I think I'll go with Sumit, right? So I agree with him that there has to be a brand affinity. Customers are smart enough today to know that they'll not get lured by just discounts. I think the product has to speak for itself. Look, I think, and I've run an omni-channel brand myself way back, in 2011s when I used to run an apparel brand, Free Culture. So, I've always seen that, if you look at online, the customer acquisition is typically, you pay the Google and a Meta tax or customer acquisition cost to acquire customers online, right? I think and if you do the unit economics, it's an X percentage of your revenue, right? And that's how you do the maths. If you go in the offline store or the offline world, right, a lot of brands pay hefty rents to malls or to get a great location. Now that great location, you're basically paying for the footfall. That footfall is essentially customer acquisition. But there is an interesting play where we come in now with single interface, is that there is an online customer. How do you acquire that customer to transact with you offline? So I think it's not, with so much of choices, it's never easy to acquire customers if you don't have a great product, if you don't have a great service. I think that's paramount, the customer's affinity to the brand. And again, as Sumit rightly mentioned, there's a lot of talk about omni-channel, offline, D2C. At the end of it, it is all about the brand and the product. If the brand is good, product is great, customers love your brand, irrespective of the channel they'll buy. And they'll buy you at the channel of convenience. So that's why it is very important for the brand to make sure that they're optimized for all channels and not select one over the other. And obviously there will be specific segments where the brands may choose not to go online or not to go offline. But I feel that was a case about 5-6 years back. Today every brand has understood. And they'll have a specific strategy for each channel. I mean, you look at Apple, right? I mean, they will never have a discounted price or a differentiated price across channel. And same is true for many other brands who are able to control their pricing and control the customer experience across segments. So it is very important for the brand to make sure that there is a very less cannibalization which happens, or zero cannibalization which happens across different channels where they're serving customers, so that they protect the ethos of the brand and deliver a great quality product across all channels. Then I think acquiring customer becomes a matter of availability across different channels.
Doesn't matter you are offline or online.
I always believe that it's going to be a very seamless or a omni world. I mean, look at our experience, right? We wake up in the morning, we'll look at YouTube, not even on a device. Everybody has connected TVs at home, right? I mean, how do you really define online and offline right now? And I think we all live in a world which is a very good blend or a merging of online and offline. I don't say that consumers go to online. Now we are essentially living our lives in a merged environment, right? Because everybody has a smartphone which is connected 24/7. And there's so many businesses which have been built on this intersection of online and offline, right? I mean, we call Uber, we call groceries. So I don't think so there is any online, offline differentiation. Or the lines are very blurred.
True, true. Priyanka, you were talking about customers' loyalty, and you have some loyal customers. So when it comes to acquiring new customer, new generation, how do you do that?
So new customer acquisition is definitely a challenge that we face. Of course, our customer retention rate is one of the highest in the industry. But when it comes to discoverability, we do see online as a big tool, having a presence across multiple touch points. So I think for GKB, definitely as an optical chain, we have a very vast offline presence. We have partnership with major malls and key locations, which has been the biggest, I would say, USP of our brand for multiple years. We've been in the industry. However, now we do see that your different media outlets online, be it social media, be it your Google, as well as other platforms, are becoming are already very necessary. So I think that having online platforms as a tool to help offline retailers, and as Sandeep rightly mentioned, it's going to become very seamless. That is the aim for us in the future in terms of creating discoverability and visibility. And of course, loyalty is all dependent on our brand strength. Thank you.
Thank you. Sanjay, your take on this? I mean, in the age of D2C brands, how difficult for a brand like you to acquire new customers?
So today, D2C brands mainly are extremely competitive on pricing. And legacy brands has a challenge because we operate nearly 90% out of the offline space. And we all know that rentals are really the largest contributor of costs as far as the offline business is concerned. And hence, there is a need to kind of price your product in a particular manner. Having said that, I feel that there are two sets of customers that at least Spiker speaks to. One is an audience who's actually walking into the store and buying Spiker, and hence you need to keep that conversation on, and that can happen offline and also online. But there is another set of customer who's kind of walking into or moving into the category. And these are early starters, probably upwards of 8th or 9th standard children, And these people are actually netizens in the real sense. So from that perspective, to build awareness and to ensure that the brand Spiker stays part of the consideration set for the younger audience, a lot of conversations happen only online. And I think that's probably the most dominant platform that we actually want to, or we use to speak to a new customer and customer acquisition. So it's mainly digital, mainly online.
Okay, thank you. Ankur, before I ask you to close out this by your take, if anyone has any question, they can raise your hand and we can ask you to direct the question after Ankur's response.
So I think customer acquisition, now because of the Omnichannel, we are talking about Omni. So even customer acquisition has become Omni. So you have to follow the customer journey both online and offline. Having said that, again, we are a legacy brand. We have a very, very loyal base of customers who keep coming back, and because our product is so strong. But we want to also target the young consumer, and which is there very, very active digitally. So we do a lot of educational programs through influencers, through in-store activations. One very interesting thing that we do offline is the Bra Fit Challenge, wherein we ask the customer if they guess their bra size right, they get a gift. So it's a very, very subtle educational thing. And then, as I said, 60% women don't know the right size. And when they get, these kind of insights, it's again very, very educational. It's not in the face sales. They, get that trust and confidence in the brand. And then obviously the salesperson educates them that your body type changes every 6 to 12 months and you should keep looking at your size. So these are some of the things that we do offline. And of course in online, we are trying to acquire the new young consumer, the tech savvy consumer. So that's my take on the customer acquisition thing.
Thank you, thank you. Anyone from the audience wants to ask anyone? Lady back there. Can someone give a mic to her?
Hi, my name is Rupali and I head the e-commerce division for Inorbit. We have launched an hyperlocal website for a mall, quick commerce kind of format. My question is to Sumit to know whether, going by the subject line, whether it is really for a company a profitable reality or a costly pursuit for making all your stores omni-enabled, not only for your .coms, but even for your marketplaces to handle forward as well as return from the stores?
So it's a good question. First and foremost, if we look at, like I was let's break this into different parts, right? If you come as a customer and try to buy a size which is not there, that's a very profitable part. We call it endless aisle. Many other retailers have different names for it. Basically saying that whatever you see, if you don't find your size color, I will get it to you. No worry on that. The second one is my own .com, me servicing from my store or DC to you. That's also a decently profitable one because here I might make money or not make money depending on your behavior. But at an overall level, I know that somebody who shops online and offline spends more with me as a brand. If I look at the customer value of that consumer, I make more money. The last one is, should I then have the marketplaces also service out of my DC and store? We as a retailer believe that it should be only out of the DC, not at the store, because it's fairly complicated and chances of you losing money is very high because returns in the e-com business are extremely high, which means that reverse logistics, when they come to the stores, you need to train a whole army of people. We have 10,000 people in our stores. You need to train an army of people to do QC on the product that's come back. And there are loads of malpractices out there. So hence, we restrict that part of the business to the DCs only. And on a standalone basis, you can make money there as well. So I would answer the question in 3 different parts. On the whole, can a brand like ours make pots of money on that channel currently? No. Do you break even? Yes. Do you make little money? Probably yes. Is it something that's right for the brand? 100%, because you're building loyalty, right? Because like I said, the value that you extract from the consumer because of the loyalty of shopping online and offline is worth its weight in gold.
Thank you, Sumit. Thank you for answering the question. And I thank all the panelists for the valuable insight. Thank you.